In a quiet village of Umoma, surrounded by green hills and whispering trees, lived a young girl named Ada. She was not like other girls in the village. While others wear fine clothes and had their hair, and Ada walked barefoot and wear the same tall wrapper every day. People in the village laughed at her. Children pointed and mocked her. Every adult whispered curtains when she passed. That girl is cursed. Some said she has no father, no mother. She brings bad luck. But Ada did not cry. She did not shout or fight. Every morning, she woke up before the sun rise, walked to the river to fetch water, and then help other mama sweep the village square. Mama Nkem was the only one he showed Ada a little kindness. She gave her leftover food and allowed her to sleep under her hut broken roof when it rained. Thank you, Mama, Ada always said with a boy. Despite the pain in her heart, Ada was full of dreams. She dreamed of going to school. She wanted to wear a uniform, carry a bag, and learn how to read and write. But school was for children whose parents could pay the fees. Ada had no one. One hot afternoon, while Ada was washing cassava at the river, she heard a noise. She turned and saw a big boy struggling in the water, waving his arms and screaming, "Help! Help me! Help! Help me!" Without thinking, Ada jumped in. The river was deep and the current was strong, but Ada swam like a fish. She reached the boy, hold his hand and pull him to the water. He was coughing and shaking, but alive. "Thank you, thank you, thank you," he said, crying. His name was Obi. He was the only son of the village chief. When the villagers heard what Ada had done, they were shocked. The same girl they called Cost had just saved the chief's boy. The next day, the chief called for Ada. She stood before him in her parlor, her hands shaking. "You are a brave girl," the chief said. "You have saved my only son. What do you want in return?" Ada looked up, tears in her eyes. "I want to go to school." There was silence. Then the chief nodded. "From today, you will be treated like a daughter of this village. I will pay your school fees. You will learn." The news spread fast. The same people who had laughed at Ada now clapping for her. They praised her. Some even offered her gifts, but Ada did not change. She remained humble, quiet, and full of respect. Every morning, she walked to school with her books in hand. She sat in front of the class and listened with open eyes and ears. Her teacher loved her. She answers questions with wisdom beyond her age. Years passed. Ada grew into a beautiful young woman. She no longer wear tall clothes again. She now wear clean dressing and no hair. But her heart remained kind. One day, something strange happened in Umoma. The village were dried up. The crops began to die. Children fell sick. People were afraid. The elders went to the shrine and asked the gods why. The priest came out shaking his hand. The gods are angry. He said, someone among us has stolen from the sacred forests. Fear spread like wildfire. Who had entered the sacred forest? That night, the chief called a meeting. If the person does not confess, the gods will punish the whole village. People murmured and looked around. Ada sat quietly, but deep in her heart, she knew what had happened. A week earlier, she had gone into the sacred forest, not to see, but to fetch herb for Mama Nkem, who was coughing badly. She did not know it was forbidden. She had only wanted to help. She stood up slowly and walked to the front of the crowd. I entered the sacred forest, she said, but I did not see. I only took herbs for a sick old woman. There was silence. Then the priest stepped toward. The gods do not punish those who help others, he said, but they test the hearts of men. He turned to the chief. Because this girl has spoken the truth and show a pure heart, the gods will forgive this village. As he spoke him, rain began to fall. It was the first rain in months. The villagers shouted for joy. Some danced, others cried, and at the center of it, all stood Ada. The girl that was mocked now seen as a blessing to the land. The chief declared that Ada would be sent to the city to continue her education. He would sponsor her all the way to the university. Ada cried tears of joy. Thank you, sir, she said. I will not disappoint you. In the city, things were not easy. Ada had never seen tall buildings or fast cars. People laughed at her village, but she did not care. She studied hard, stayed focused, and graduated with top honors. She became a teacher, not just a teacher, but a bundle of leaves. She returned to Umoma, not with pride, but with a heart full of love. She opened the first free school in the village. Children who had no parents, just like her, could now learn for free. The same villagers who once mocked her now brought their children to her school. One day, a journalist came to interview Ada. How did you become such a strong woman? He said. Ada smiled. Pain made me strong and love gave me power. And so, the story of Ada, the village girl, became a song by mothers, a tale told to children, and a legend that lived long after she was gone. But the journey did not end there. In the same village lived a man named Ozemenam. He was once the only teacher in Umoma, a proud man who collected high fees and looked down on poor children. When Ada returned and started teaching for free, his school employed like a broken pot. Events grew in his heart like a wind. One evening, Ozemena visited the shrine in secret. "Holy Spirit," he whispered, "why should a poor girl like Ada take my place? She is still my glory. Teach her a lesson." The shrine was quiet, but the priest who loved nearby heard whispers in the wind. The next morning, something terrible happened. The roof of Ada's school was torn off by a sudden storm. Books were soaked, chairs were broken. Her students cried, but Ada did not cry. She looked at the sky and said, "Even if the roof is gone, we will learn under the tree." The next day, the children sit under the mango tree in the village square, and Ada stood in front of them with her white books. "Who can tell me the meaning of courage?" she asked, smiling. Their, sm- their small voice shouted, not give up. She nodded. Very good, let's continue. The villagers saw this and their hearts burned with love. They came with wood, nails, and palm leaves. Within a week, the school was rebuilt stronger than before. Even the chief's son, Obi, now a young man, returned from the city to help. You are still saving life, Ada, he said with a smile. That night, Ozemena grew sick. His eyes swallowed. His tongue felt heavy. He ran to the shrine, crying, forgive me, I was jealous of Ada. The priest appeared in the moonlight. You cannot stop a light that was sent by the heavens. He said, her soul is bigger than your pride. Ozemena returned home and slowly changed. He stopped collecting fees. He even offered to teach music in Ada's school. Ada forgave him without a word. She knew the power of kindness. As Ada's name spread, people from the city began to visit the village. A wealthy woman named Madame Aris came with her camera. One morning, she watched Ada teach and saw how happy the children were. After class, she called Ada aside. You are gifted, she said. I want to take you to Lagos. I will build you a bigger school. You will have office, computers, and even a car. Ada was quiet. It's a life of comfort. Madam Alice added, leave this village behind. You have done enough. That night, Ada sat beside the river and thought deeply. She remembered the day she jumped into the water to save Obi. She remembered how hungry she was as a child, how Madam Kim gave her leftover soup, how people laughed at her. The next morning, she met Madam Alice at the village square. I'm honored, Ada said softly, but I was raised in his village. My bones are here, my soul is here. If I leave, who will love those children the way I do? And then Alice stared at her in surprise. No one had ever turned down such an offer. You are different. You said I respect you. She donated supplies to the schools, instead books, computer, and a new signboard that read, Ada Memorial School